my name's Dan and I am an absolute outdoors tragic. And I'll tell you a little secret, I want you to be as well. Now, you don't need to spend $1 million to have this big adventure machine. There's actually only 10 accessories that any four-wheel drive needs to get out here and truly explore the great outdoors. Now, the adventure doesn't really start until the phone reception stops, so you're gonna need a reliable means of communication. We've got these great little 2-watt handheld units, and they're perfect for letting the kids run around, having a mate spot you on the track, and just general convoy banter with your mates behind you. The other option, if you're looking for something with a bit more range, is a vehicle-mounted unit like one of the 5-watt offerings. Now, the thing with any UHF is it's not encrypted, and that means whatever you're sending out there, someone else can hear, so know the channels in your area. The last thing you'd want to be doing is telling the whole nation your private life story. Now, just do me one favor. My absolute pet hate is hearing over and out. That means over to you, and I'm out of here. Now, any weekend warrior worth its salt is gonna have to have some serious roof storage. You can see we're putting it to good use here with the awning, a couple of swags, and the recovery boards up here. Now, there are a few options. You can go a full basket, a flat rack, or we've got some Pro Rack Whisper bars on here. Now, there is another fantastic piece of storage equipment I do want to show you, so come for a little walk with me. This is the Ryder half tub rack, and it is giving us some serious versatility on the tub. You can see we've got it mounted up with a rooftop tent, but you can also put things like swags, awnings, eskies, anything bulky up here is going to work perfect. It really allows us to segment our storage. So we've got our storage drawers and our heavy items like fridges in the tub, and anything bulky and lightweight can go up here without eating into that space. Now, one thing that I absolutely love is how adjustable these units are. You can see all the different mounting options all elongated, and that means you can physically change the dimensions of this to suit whatever you're gonna put it on. Doesn't matter whether you've got a D-Max or a Land Cruiser, this is gonna fit perfect. Now, if you've ever heard the saying, don't outbreak your lights, you'd know how terrifying it is when all you can see is exactly how long it's going to take you to stop. Fitting up a set of driving lights is going to let you see further, relax those eyes, and make night driving so much safer. Now, if I can only see 3 seconds in front of me and it's going to take me 3 seconds to stop, I'm going to have an absolute terrifying night driving. Fitting up a set of driving lights this is going to bump that out to 4, 5, maybe even 6 seconds. That's going to mean I can drive later into the night, I can do it safer, and the car looks fantastic doing it. Let me explain. Right now, with just the headlights on, as far as I can see is how long it's going to take me to hit the brakes. If something was to walk out right on the edge of my vision, I need to hit the anchor straight away. Now, with the driving lights on, I can actually see there's a parked car down there without its headlights on. That's going to give me a whole lot more buffer room and make my night driving a hell of a lot safer. These Ryder LEDs come with everything that you're going to need to mount them up and included wiring looms, and they're available in a traditional round style or a slimline LED bar so they can fit any four-wheel drive. Now, you can't talk four-wheel drive gear without talking where you're going to put it. And one of my favorite storage solutions is this little Ryder drawer that's perfect for just about any four-wheel drive on the tracks. Now, this is not only going to give you a really handy spot to put all the stuff, it's going to make it really accessible too. And that means when you're in a pinch, when you're looking for the tomatoes or the Snatch Strap, it's all readily accessible. This one includes a chopping board and a slide as well, making it even better for mounting fridges or even just prepping in the kitchen. Well, we've made it pretty far. I gotta be honest, half the fun is getting out here and enjoying the outdoors and driving the tracks, but the other half is when this happens and you get stuck and you gotta figure it out. It looks like we've diffed out here and our suspension is jammed up in the rocks, so we're gonna need a little bit of a helping hand. You can do it with a winch or with a mate. Either way, you're gonna need a recovery kit. These need to be in the back of every four-wheel drive, the XTM recovery kit. Whether you've got a second four-wheel drive that can pull you out or you're relying on a winch, this is going to have everything in it that you need. Let's start setting it up and I'll show you what's inside. And when you open this up, I will be honest, a lot of things look the same, but I can assure you that there are some pretty key differences. First one, the Snatch Strap. This is something that you're going to use when you're stuck in sand or mud and you've got another four-wheel drive that can pull you out. So when the environment around you is safe, but you're in a bit of a pickle, the Snatch Strap's the go. So think of a Snatch Strap like a big elastic band. The two vehicles are going to pull apart and all that kinetic energy is going to work to slingshot it back together. They are absolutely fantastic bits of kit. But we're not going to use it in this situation because the environment we're in is pretty unstable. What we are going to use today is this, a tree trunk protector. This four-wheel drive's got a winch so we can actually self-recover. There's a bunch of trees back there we can use as an anchor point, and we should be out of here in no time. Now, to save us running out all the line on the winch, we're going to use what's known as a winch extension strap. This is physically just going to move the anchor point from the tree trunk protector 10 meters closer to the four-wheel drive. It's a very handy piece of kit. Now that tree trunk protector combined with a bow shackle is going to give us our anchor point. Another handy bit of kit in the bag, but we're not going to use today, is this, a Snatch Block. Now, pretend I'm that anchor point. The winch line's coming up here, but the thing you're trying to winch is actually over there, or maybe even double it back to your four-wheel drive for more pulling power. The Snatch Block allows you to run your line up, through, and wherever you want to go. So there's a couple of these bow shackles that we've got to link everything together, but they are quite hefty, and there's going to be a lot of load in the system when it's all weighted up. It does mean that if something does fail, these can become a projectile, but luckily the bag itself actually functions as a damper. So if something was to snap, the weight of the bag is going to make it fall harmlessly to the ground. Some seriously good thinking there. Right, now all of that is great in theory, but let's see how it actually works in practice. So the tree trunk protector is around here. That's given us that big, nice wide bend, so we're not going to cut into the tree. We've got our bow shackle for an anchor point. Moving back, you can see our winch extension strap means that our winch line only needs to come down there rather than all the way up here. If we were a little bit further away, I don't think we'd even have enough rope to make it here, but this extension strap means I only had to pull out a little bit of rope. That makes life so much easier. There's another very important component. This is that weighted damper I was saying. So once this system loads up, this is physically going to lift, and if it snaps either side, this damper is going to make sure that the metal parts hit the deck rather than hitting me. And finally, the muscle of the situation, the XTM 12,000 pound winch. It's going to tension all this system and pull us out of here in no time, so we can head off, get ourselves a coffee. While we're focused a lot on the recovery kit for the vehicle, it's important to have recovery kit for yourself as well. These little babies are absolutely magical and they are punching well above their size. Out here in the great outdoors, there's plenty of amazing things to see and do, but sometimes nature does bite back a little bit as well. These are going to have all the bits and pieces that you're going to need to get yourself out of strife, just like we got the four-wheel drive out of strife as well. It is important to know what to do with them though, so don't just buy a first aid kit, go and get yourself first aid trained. It might be the most valuable day of your life. These traction boards are perfect for a range of situations. Here's just one of them. Right, so what we've done here is we've come up against a ledge and I just can't quite get the four-wheel drive up it. I could try and bounce it up, but if I do, I'll break things immediately. Instead, we're reaching for the traction boards and the track's not doing what we want it to, so we're gonna put a new track in instead. We're gonna put these in between the ledge and the tire, give ourselves a ramp to drive up. The whole thing should be very anticlimactic, which is exactly what you want in a recovery. So today's a nice warm day. It means that this plastic is going to be nice and soft and it should deform and allow us to drive up there nice and easy. The other thing you'll notice is they work with these little nodules that'll actually engage with the grooves on your tires. If you come up here hell for leather spinning your wheel, you're going to rip these off immediately and destroy everything. So it's important just to take things nice and slow, pace yourself, and you'll be out of here in no time. I'll let you know a little secret. One of the best modifications you can make to make your four-wheel drive more capable is actually free. By dropping these tyre pressures down to 15, even 12 PSI, it's going to give us a physically longer footprint, giving us more traction in loose dirt like this, mud, sand, even snow. Here, I'll show you how. It's as simple as fitting up one of these core removal tools. By twisting this, I can remove the fill core in here and I can drop the pressures down to whatever I need. You can see here how much it's physically bagged out. This tyre was touching back here before, now it's all the way out there. It's going to give us a significant increase in grip, but you're not going to be able to drive along like that without seriously damaging the tyre. To get this back to road pressures, there's a handy little accessory, one of our 10 on the list. At 160 litres a minute, the XTM Air Compressor is going to make short work of pumping up these tyres. They've got 150 PSI pressure limit too. That makes them really good for all your camping gear. There's also an 8 metre quick connect hose, which means we're going to be able to pump this up, but also a camper trailer, a caravan, even a boat trailer on the back. Nothing says I've conquered nature like rolling out an awning. Just that little bit of shelter brings all those creature comforts from home. Now this XTM 2x2.5 meter awning took less than a minute to set up, and it's going to protect us from anything nature can throw at us. And it looks $1 million as well. An awning is actually also one of the most versatile bits of camping kit you can get. They are an absolute must-have. It's one thing to be able to cook up a storm at camp, but it's important to be able to get your food there safely and coolly as well. There are a couple of different options, from small thermo coolers up to the heavy-duty fridge freezers. On this trip, we've gone something in the middle. At 12 litres capacity, this little XTM is perfect for any weekend away. It'll run all the way from 10 degrees down to -12, which is perfect for all of your camping needs. And the great thing is, it is so lightweight, you're not going to need a couple of gladiators to get it to your camp. If you're looking to take your campsite from caveman to Jamie Oliver in less than 60 seconds, you're going to want a butane cooker. Now, this little Ridge Ryder dual burner number comes with an included hot plate. That's going to make it really easy, really lightweight. Just add some snags and some mushrooms and you're going to be able to cook up an absolute storm no matter where you decide to park for the night. At the end of a day on the tracks, there is absolutely nothing better than rolling out the swags by the campfire. Who needs 5-star accommodation when you've got 5 million star views like this? Just add snacks, some mates, swags, and a campfire and you're set.
Whoever you are, whatever you drive, make it super with Supercheap Auto.